Halo 4! This is the first Halo game developed by 343 Studios after Bungie retired Halo and started making some other game no one's ever heard of. JK, Destiny's a hit. I've never played it, but I have friends and family who enjoy Destiny a lot, so that was a joke. 343 Studios grabbed the reins, took the bull by the horns, and picked up their bootstraps, and I'm all out of cowboy puns now. And 343 Studios said, I'm about to make the best Halo campaign yet today. JK again, but I'm sure that's what they were going for. I played Halo 4 when it first came out, and I liked it. And I just played it for the Xbox One X, and I liked the game. I first played Halo 4 as soon as it came out for the Xbox 360, and made it up to the second to last chapter until my disc stopped working. After that point, I'm not sure if the disc came scratched or if I scratched it.
I trust that scratch hasn't made you useless.
But that's all I could play, and I never did purchase a new disc. It's funny because I remember playing the game on Heroic for the 360 and thinking how difficult it was. I just beat Halo 1 and 2 on Heroic, and I'm beating Halo 2 on Legendary now. Just beat Halo 4 on Heroic via Master Chief Collection, and I thought most of it was pretty easy in comparison. It might be a little bit harder than Halo 3's Heroic setting though. Halo 4's Heroic, Trust and Believe, is much more challenging than Halo 5. I didn't find Halo 5 challenging at all, and that will be discussed in the next video. Now that Johnson is dead and Miranda, we only have a couple people left that we know of and love. Pretty much just the Chief and Cortana, as far as I can recall. And Jesus, Cortana is completely immature rated and curvaceous as she could be. Unobtainable beauty standards has been a hot button issue as of late. I personally wasn't concerned about Halo 4 Cortana, other than I thought maybe once or twice, tone it down on the butt-naked curvaceous Cortana! Children play this game! Even though they shouldn't, this game after all is rated M for mature, 17+. Cortana was very much toned down in Halo 5. She got a digital chest reduction and basically just wore body armor. Not sure if that was because social outrage pressure or if simply just because Halo 5 is rated T for teen. We certainly know the latter is likely for sure. But I really don't care. Like I said, this is just a hot button topic some people in the West talk about, and I find it interesting, both good and bad. Bad because look at nearly any Hollywood movie. Everyone doesn't look like a supermodel in real life. The way people look in movies opposed to real life is utterly and wildly beyond unrealistic, but also, Psychology 101 suggests that if someone attractive is on screen, then it is more likely to keep a person's attention. So I get that too. It's all about that paper in the end. Also, it's just a movie anyway, so who cares, right? I don't know. I understand both arguments. I am Switzerland, middling milquetoast man. I think we should have two political sides, so we can always challenge each other's views. I don't want everyone to be the same and think the same. I don't want everyone to be the people in the Pink Floyd The Wall video. We need the male, the female, the yin and the yang, and the left and the right. And we also need to learn to agree to disagree. Maybe that is what's really gonna get learned this generation. And maybe that is what really getting woke should be. What the hell do I know, though? Halo 4 got a lot of crap for several reasons, and it's not because of Double D Cortana. People mostly didn't understand the story. Originally, the story was even more convoluted than Halo 3 at first. But actually, the story with Master Chief Collection, the story makes a bit more sense now because there is a thing called the Halo Channel, which is this generation's version of Halo Waypoint, where as far as I'm concerned, its main purpose is to further expand the stories. With Halo 4, I kind of appreciated it because it is expanded upon the Prometheans and the Didact and what they really are and where they came from. And I'm going to really get into the story here in a little bit. Halo 4 got a lot of flack from its story not making sense because what I've read and seen in different YouTube videos, to fully understand Halo 4's story, you have to read different Halo books first. Most people probably did not do that, so the expanded story makes Halo's 4 story make a bit more sense, and in turn made Halo 4 a more enjoyable game to play. I said it before and I'll say it again. I liked Halo 4. It wasn't a masterpiece or anything, but it's a good game via the Master Chief Collection, I thought. You seriously must first download the Halo channel first before playing the game though. It's free and it does expand the story, like I said, in great detail, and provides a lot of really cool artwork to boot. Graphics and frame rate. I'm going to rate this game the same way I rated ODST by giving one final score at the end of the video. This way of rating the game is more efficient, plus my old rating scale also leaves a lot of room for unintended contradiction. Once again, 343 Studios provided a killer graphical upgrade for this game and made it look like a current gen title for the most part. I don't remember any frame rate issues. I played on the Xbox One X. I got 60 frames per second, full HDR, and a full 4K resolution. It's a stellar upgrade for the most part, although much of the game does indeed look like a yesteryear console game up close. But if you can ignore looking up close too much, then the game does look good for what it is, and can very much look like a modern day console game. The new Outer Worlds game was just released by Obsidian this month. It's a hecka great looking game, and even that game can look a bit pixely and blurry up close. At least that's how it looks on the Xbox One X. On a good PC, the game is likely to look better. There are very few games that don't get pixely looking up close on this console. We just aren't always fully quite there yet with us console players. By the way, I'm not team console guy and I'm not team PC guy. I don't believe in God. I don't put faith in politics because I think politics are corrupt as the day is long. I'm not team atheist or team nihilist. So count me out when it comes to anything that can resemble any dogma, belief, or any stupid club, except for maybe Club World Peace. Glad I could get that out of the way. I can think of a handful of games that look great from the macro to the micro, no matter what on this console, so honestly, blurry or pixely or up close is nearly to be expected. The graphics for Halo 4 is okay, and even really nice at times, and the frame rate seems perfect. The sound of this game is a giant step up from Halo 3 and ODST, in the sense where the guns are very punchy and sound very lifelike. They are easily the best gun sounds we have heard yet in our Halo journey. Human and alien weapons are both exceptional. The voice acting is also completely on point. We don't have Johnson anymore to say funny stuff, and really no comedic relief in this game, so they had to really step up their game, and they did in some ways. The voice acting was certainly movie quality, as it always has been, really. The voice acting has always been a major strength of the Halo franchise. The franchise always has a lot to live up to, and always delivers in that area. Halo 4 score was produced by British record producers Neil Devage. Devage was Halo 4's main composer and producer. The soundtrack is a bit different, obviously, because this is the first, and at least the first first-person shooter Halo game which is not produced by Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore. There was an utterly distinct style with O'Donnell and Salvatore, from the Gregorian chants to the screaming rock guitars, from the tribal beats, and every soundtrack they did was excellent in my opinion and totally unique. Halo ODST had a really good score as well. It sounded like a Halo score. It wasn't my favorite of the Halo scores, but it was very Halo. This score for Halo 4 sounds great. It sounds professional. It's totally high budget, movie quality, but there's nothing unique about it. It sounds like a soundtrack and score of an action movie. It doesn't do anything to stand out. Yes, this soundtrack was well thought out and took a lot of tender love and care to create. I give it credit for that. But when new companies take on new projects, oftentimes we see a new crew that comes with it. This soundtrack strays from the roots of Halo, which on paper could really be a good thing, because in a game I don't want to hear the same soundtrack every time I play the game. Or even when I hear a new band, I don't want to keep hearing the same album. I didn't particularly care for Tool's new album as a giant Tool fan. I didn't care for it too much because the album was too safe. It sounds very much just like another Tool album. So I do want to hear something different with every new game entry, but it has to grip me and touch my soul as a massive music fan. The soundtrack for Halo 4 is definitely good and well organized, but did nothing for me. And it's totally not a soundtrack I would listen to if I wanted to hear a musical score on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Halo 3 soundtrack, then type in Halo 4 soundtrack and look at the difference in views. Why is this? This is because when O'Donnell and Salvatore made a Halo soundtrack, they made it with their blood, sweat, and tears, and that bleeds into the music. Halo 4 soundtrack, I'm sure it took a lot of effort, but I think Halo's 4 soundtrack sucks, and I'm allowed to think that. These are my opinions, and I'm going to tell you where to have them. There, I said it. Okay, now the story. There is a great 3-minute video on a channel called Xbox On that gives a detailed description of Halo 4 story. I'll have it in the description. This guy makes videos on the cliff notes of other Halo games as well. What I'm about to present to you comes from this dude and from me playing Halo 4, partially from the Halo channel, and I have another video in the link that was really helpful for me. This is a loaded story, so buckle up. The Halo rings have been disabled after they finally destroyed the Flood. The Human Covenant War has ended. Cortana wakes Master Chief after he is in cryo for 4 years, starting at when he crash lands into Forward Under Dawn at the end of Halo 3. She wakes him because a Covenant ship of radical fanatics who are still fighting a war that is over are nearby, and she obviously needed him awake for that. Chief fought them near an old Forerunner planet called Requiem. Chief and Cortana got sucked into the planet's surface via a gravity well, landed on the planet infested by Radical Covenant and Prometheans, and the king of the Prometheans, which is called the Didact. Okay, and of course Cortana is past her prime, as we saw in Halo 3. The rest of the story, and even the Prometheans, were a big enigma before the Halo channel came to save the day and made the story actually make sense. See, the Prometheans were human ones. The Didact and his wife, the Librarian, are an ancient species of an advanced alien race. Long ago, humans ascended to a point of becoming almost like gods. They were a space-bearing race that were highly advanced, even more advanced than the Forerunners, some would say, and they lived in peace. Unfortunately, there was also a growing flood problem that humans helped spread. The Didact decided to use technology to first genetically devolve the humans to hunter-gatherers, then turn humans into Prometheans against their will with some sort of super soldier weapon to help rid the Flood and to make up for humans spreading it, as the Didact told the Librarian to justify his actions, for she did not approve of him doing this. The Didact also saw Master Chief as a problem as well, because he knew from the Forerunners that he has great power, so the Didact wants to encapsulate him in a prison-type technology called the Composer. So after the Chief landed on this Promethean planet, the Librarian found Chief to tell him this and to tell him he needs to destroy the Didact because he went a little bit too wild with his power, turning all the humans into Prometheans. A lot of ancient humans that were on a certain planet. Basically, that is it in a nutshell. The main problem people had with the game was the story, like I said, and the story has been fixed, which makes Halo 4 a good game now. My only real issue with the game was the soundtrack is boring and the game is too short. Not as long as any of the other main Halo entries, obviously beside ODST and maybe Reach. I don't remember how long Reach's campaign is. Reach is going to be my last video in a Halo series I make because I'm going to wait till its remastered version comes out to play the game again. Anyway, the story is good now, guys. Also, I don't like how some of the guns have changed as well. We will get into that now. The gameplay is great. Different, but in a good way for the most part. The most OP weapon in the game now is the Needler. The Needler is the most efficient way to take out elites in this game. The charged plasma pistol and a pistol headshot trick works sort of, I guess, but the plasma pistol runs out of juice hecka quick when you're charging it, and it renders it a nearly worthless gun. The trick is not the same anymore, so it's time for us to evolve and use the Needler now. The gameplay is amazing. Really, between the stand-up fighting sequences to the mini vehicle, like we have mechs now, you can fly a Pelican and some other ship I'm showing now, which reminds me kind of like a Nier Automata level. Master Chief can run now until he runs out of breath, which is, I think, a bit annoying, and he has some new powers. He can use like a jetpack, a body double, and a sentry turret. The new powers are great and enjoyable, I thought. The Prometheans could be a bit of a nuisance as well, as the Promethean dogs are bullet sponges unless you can hit them right in the head, which isn't always easy as they move very fast and they're a rather small target. The little flying Promethean drones are even worse. They're even a smaller target and they move fast and unpredictably, and they're utter bullet sponges, period. They do become a very annoying target. The cutscenes were taken right from the original Halo 4 cutscenes with a 4K and HDR upgrade, and the small upgrade to these cutscenes hold up to this day. They look excellent. The map layout is great as well. I like how spacious the maps are in this game. We saw a little bit of that in Halo 3, but much more here. Spacious maps were clearly the focus here in this entry. They wanted to give us the most ambitious Halo game to date, and they have in many ways did that. I give Halo 4 Master Chief Collection Upgrade an 8. Tell me if you like my rating, if you agree with it or not. If you agree with it, please like and subscribe and ring that bell. Then, spoiler alert, on December 3rd, Halo Reach's upgrade is coming out as a full title. It's not a DLC. So that's going to be available on the Game Pass December 3rd. That's a really big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and play that and review that. It's pretty cool timing. Until next time, guys. Blessings.